Hello, my name is Peter Abraham. I'm a second career registered nurse focused on advanced illness, specifically those situations that would either qualify for palliative care or hospice care. Those are two separate services. I'm also a certified end of life doula through the International Doula Life Movement, an avid book author. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to visit. In this channel, we have discussions about death and dying. After all, we are all going to die. Shouldn't we be prepared? We plan when we're preparing a family. We plan when we're moving out most of the time. I was kicked out in the middle of a snowstorm, but after that, plan for this move or that move. My wife and I adopted special needs teenagers. What room is our son going to be in? What room is our daughter going to be in? Do we put aside for their vocation school? How are we going to operate through all of this? We make all these plans in life, but what about dying? And I'm not just talking about last will and testament for what happens to your property and assets, but do you want a feeding tube? Do you want to have a tracheostomy and be on a ventilator? If you're having kidney disease, do you want to receive dialysis? For how long? If you're having pain, do you want to be sedated that you're like, you don't care if you're drooling? Or do you want to be able to put up enough with the pain that you could actually have a conversation? Those are decisions you could and should be making now to be part of the story, so to speak. And there are times in this channel we'll have things like updates on the garden. I'm hoping to do an update in a week or two for those looking forward to those. But for the topic for today, it is a more general from a point of view. This topic will fit any of you who are creatives. You create content. This topic may fit my fellow YouTubers. This topic may fit my fellow authors, whether it's books or articles. If you are creative, what we're going to be discussing today, I believe will be of benefit to you. So before we get on to today's topic, I like to encourage everyone who comes to this channel. And by the way, if you like these type of videos, please subscribe, hit the bell notification below. I'm trying to publish at least 3 times a week, at the worst, twice a week, but 3 times if I'm able. And so far, I've been thankful to be able to do that. Some weeks a little bit more, no less than 2. If you like, please like the video. This is a very small channel. It helps with the YouTube algorithm just to get the message out, both about planning for death and dying, the different videos I do for my hospice nurses, holistic nurses, caregivers, doulas. But what I encourage all my listeners to participate in is I believe there are 3 pillars for building resilience. Resilience helps you get through storms in life. It helps you be able to work with people who are dying, work with people who are going through hardship. Just getting through life itself, resilience helps. For me, there are 3 pillars. My faith in Christ Jesus, my first pillar, forgiveness, my second. The third one is what we work on this channel, at least a little bit. What are you grateful for? So what I am grateful for, the turnout for the palliative care session that I did for the International Doula Life Movement went well. We had 23 students, and this is free to International Doula Life Movement. Doesn't matter whether you took a $250 class or an $850 class. If you took a class, you have access to free continuing education for life. I do ask from time to time, buy me a coffee type thing, but that's optional. But we did also have people who paid to come to be a part of that session, and it went rather well. Now, granted, I'm biased, but we had different people, including new people, saying that I did a good job. And if I'm taking them at their word, which I am, they said I did. So I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful. Miriam bought me 2 cups of coffee. Thank you so much, Miriam. I platonically love you and the others. And so I appreciate that. I am I am so close to getting ready to edit the end of life care planning book for any end of life professional, but predominantly doulas. I just wrote the conclusion today. I'm going to be working on the appendices. Then I have to make a decision. Do I rewrite either all or just the care plan tables? I'm not happy with the care plan tables for chapter 15, which is fear of dying. I don't have chapter 16's title memorized. 15 is easy because almost everyone has a fear of dying. That's part of the reason why it's not even discussed. Later. So I'm hoping that the week of August 18th, probably towards the end of the week, or maybe the last week of August, where I'll be submitting for paperback and hardcover to Amazon, get them published. And when they're publishing, that's usually when I publish the Kindle version. That usually publishes a lot faster. And I'm also grateful for Pam Carter and her advanced care planning class that I'm taking. I, I'm I am stoked. Yay. And I'm glad for that. So let me get in now the topic for today's video, and then I'm going to shortly get off into the tutorial session because that's where it's me showing, you're seeing my screen as I'm walking you through. So how this is going to flow is, those of you who know, not only am I a book author, I'm actually creating a course on one of my books, Crucial End of Life Conversations, and I was sharing to the palliative care session. I have the Mastering Hospice Eligibility book, the Art of Hospice Prognosis book, and why these are different from quick flips, by the way. And hospices are adopting them, and I'm thankful for that too. Well, if you're a creative person, a lot of the things that we struggle with is, where do we get our artwork from? Where do we get royalty-free artwork from? Those of you who are able to get a pen and draw, and you amaze me to pieces. When I draw, it's stick figures, and sometimes you can't even make out, what is this supposed to look like? Not good at it. Some of you are out there. Jamie Hammerman, she's the owner of Hospice Buddy. I think you and ChatGPT are like this. Don't tell your husband, Jason. I'm teasing. But there are a lot of people do use ChatGPT, but there's actually a AI agent out there that is allegedly the power of a ad agency in your hands. And it's called, and it's not spelled the way that it's pronounced. It's called LovArt, LovArt.AI, LovArt. It is free. They do have paid, or at least it might be in beta work, but what I'm using is free. And so I'm going to be walking you through. I just got done writing an article that's going to be, it's going to be probably shouldn't say probably, it's going to be published by the time you're watching this video. Unless something changes, it's going to be published by the time you're watching this video. But it's on ambiguous loss. So I'm part of a caregiver support group meeting, and the person who runs it, Peter, are you coming? We're going to be talking about ambiguous loss. What is this? I go and look it up, and I didn't realize millions of people are suffering from this. It is a type of grief. So I'm the geeky nerd. Wait a second, I never heard of this. I'm looking it up. Is this a real thing? And I'm not saying that I was judging or thinking that a person would make something up like this, but I was like, wow, this does need an article, not only for me to be, when I'm there on Sunday, for me to be aware, but maybe I can help. I want to help. So I got some resources and so on, but I need a WordPress featured image. And I don't want to go, like in the past, I would go and find something on Google Images and try to see that what's not, what's royalty free. They don't have to pay anything. I am flabbergasted. I got one. It's not a copyright strike, but I had somebody reach out to me that I had to take my article reviewing Barbara Karn's book on for my site, because one moment, please, bear with me. I put the picture of this. I put a picture of this on as the WordPress featured image. You would think, really, seriously, are you kidding me? You would think that I'm getting them more business, because the article was a review of the book. And it was a positive 5-star out of 5 review. And I got reached out by, you're infringing on the copyright for the image. Okay, make the article private, problem gone. But it's like, are you kidding me? So I don't want to go into that. So what do? So I've been trying different AI tools, like the Bing has an AI tool. There's Google Gemini. But I found LovArt. And so I'm going to take you through a tutorial, like here's the article, here's me going through, and you're going to actually see, because LovArt, a lot of AI will come out. Sometimes it's a home run from the first prompt, and other times it's like, I've had times where I had to walk away. I deleted everything. I'm walking away. This is awful. This is awful. And I just noticed I didn't have my mic on, so hopefully I'm not sounding off with this. I mean, the mic is on, but not on my shirt type of thing. So I'll double check audio in a moment. But here, LovArt, you'll see the back and forth, and then we go into Canva. And then once we're done with that, I'm going to take you through another artwork that I created for another published article on conflict resolution and how to massage things. So hopefully you'll enjoy today's session. Any questions, comment below. I do appreciate you. For today's video, I thought I'd bring you into my world for those of you who are creative and you're producing content, whether you're a hospice nurse, holistic nurse, end-of-life doula, and you're trying to provide educational material that you yourself are creating, or maybe you're in a part of a team that's doing this. So I thought it would be a good idea to demonstrate or otherwise show. Here's, like, I've already written the article in WordPress, not yet published, but I need a featured image. And I want to show you one of the tools that I've been relying on more and more, in addition to Canva, and how I utilize even something that I've created. And we're going to go over LovArt, LovArt, shortly. But what if it gives you an image that's only part way there? There are tricks, so to speak, using Canva. I do have the pro version, but many of these are freely available in the free version, that this might help you. And I do hope that in the very near future, I'll be doing a continuing education session for my fellow International Adult Life Movement students on here are different ways to use Canva in terms of promoting, marketing your business. So what we have here, and I like multiple birds, one stone, philosophy of thought. So I am a part of a caregiver support group where I'm the only one I'm a registered nurse, I'm the doula. Everyone else that's going is a caregiver, taking care, it's all family members for right now, of a loved one in a very difficult position. And so I'm grateful to be a part of this group. And the leader of this group messaged me recently, am I coming to the next meeting? Yes. Okay, we're going to be having a session on ambiguous loss. And in full transparency, before this article, before this lady messaged me, I never heard of ambiguous loss. I know what loss is. I know what being ambiguous means. I never heard of ambiguous loss. And when she gave me the rundown, it was like, whether it's the autism, my geeky nerd, I need to research this. I really need to do an article about this, because where there's one, there's two, there's three, there's lots of people. And little did I know, as I'm doing the research for this article, millions of people are suffering from ambiguous loss. It is a type of grief that is not very, very well defined. Unlike traditional grief, somebody dies. And I don't want to minimize anything, but they're dead, right? So there's a potential for closure. There's not a lot of gray areas because there's no getting them back. Some way that makes it harder. Some way that makes it unbelievably hard. In other ways, not as hard because they're gone. But ambiguous loss, gray area. So I'm not going to go over the article. I'm just going over the front piece. So those of you panicking, when are we going to get to LovArt? When do we get to Canva? Please bear with me because this article, while it will be on compassioncrossing.info, it might be available at the time that you're watching this. Compassioncrossing.info. It's like, wow, battling addiction, loved ones with dementia, traumatic brain injury, which, oh, by the way, let me put that on here too. I do cover that later in the article, but it's a very unique type of grief. Uh, I do want to, let me do this because I don't want to go over the entire article. Let me come down. Sorry, WordPress gets funny with the display if you're scrolling too much. Yes, as much as I'm verbose, I write very thorough articles. So for when you, I'm going to phrase this. When you get the opportunity to read the article, and I hope you do, and again, we're going to get into this in a moment, I do have some very 5 key references. Dr. Pauline Boss, who writes about this, there's actually a workshop available. I was really, really thrown off by how many people are impacted by uh, ambiguous loss. So I want to take this as an opportunity. I mentioned I need a featured image. I have the article written. I have the SEO done, but I need an image. So I've been using LovArt, LovArt.AI. I'll put a link in the description below. It's free. Now I have my project, just so you know, these are below here. You can't see my hand pointing down. Created by LovArters. Those are not me. My projects are here. You know, so this one, by the way, this is a Facebook group that I've been invited to co-moderate for hospice RN case managers. Um, I created, service on wellness checks. I did an article that was just published recently on managing any type of conflict. I'm working on a course for my fellow end-of-life doulas about this book, and I wanted to, as part of the welcome message, how are the people that's going to that 16-week, 48 hours, and it's probably going to be longer because I'm going to do my best to stay after every class. What transformation are going to have? I did an article on forgiveness. This is back to that class I'm creating, or should say course, where I wanted to have about not only me teaching for that class, but hey, since I'm teaching, I wanted to have that on my website as well. I did an article on neurostorming, resilience, and me public speaking, and so on and so forth. So let's get into how we can actually use LovArt, and then we're going to get into Canva as well. So I'm going to just go in and create a new project, and I'm going to start with an idea. And there are times with this. This is not a full tutorial of LovArt, but I could upload, and I've done this before, I can upload an image like of myself, for example. I can upload an image, and let me do this because I actually think it's fitting. I'm going to actually go to my WordPress pictures. Let's arrange this by date added. And I'm going to pull in the When Hearts Collide. This is an article I did on conflict resolution. And I believe that image, which is basically a paper boat in the middle of a ripply, stormy sea, and this abstract image of the storm pushing towards the boat, that's conflict in a way, right? So even though that's conflict, if we talk about, now this is me brainstorming, let me get me, you don't need to see my face. Um, we talk about ambiguous loss when you're trying to come up with an image. And as I share this, I'm giving you the fine print that I am autistic, high functioning. I'm an introvert. When I draw, it's stick figures. Um, I barely have creativity in me, but I reach for it. I reach for it. So I'm reaching for it here. And so when I'm thinking about ambiguous loss, I'm thinking about grief. When I'm thinking about grief, I'm thinking about that storm that would fit with that conflict business. So I want to take here as a foundation of what makes it different. So I'm going to go, sorry, this is where I have a love-hate relationship with WordPress, where it doesn't function as a traditional um, anything traditionally. So I'm actually going to copy this here because I believe that's a good, and granted I'm biased, I wrote it. I believe that what makes ambiguous loss different. So I'm going to come back here after copying that. I have to start with the spelling. And yes, when I work with AI, I try, it's a type, I know I'm anthropomorphizing, but I find it works for me better. Maybe that's an illusion in my mind. So I'm going to quote it. Oh my word, if I could spell. And let me just pull the title. And so that you are aware, and this, I did not plan this out, this is not scripted. So this is literally a type of pre-recorded but live brainstorming. And let me just go through. I may end up taking off the image that I gave it so that you're aware. If I could spell. Oh, come on with the red. Okay, I cannot spell the word eurythmic. Sometimes I'll switch to synonyms if I have trouble spelling. Granted, I could go Google, but I'm trying to watch the time too. And let me just go. I'm pausing here. Now, what I'm going to do is, even though as much as I like that image, I'm taking it away because I don't want to confuse it with the ocean idea and the boat and the ripples and so on. And I'm just rereading. Okay. And yes, I'm weird. I'm thanking the AI. And that's, this is Grammarly. Fine. No. Fine. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to submit this. Let me just double check. That selects the style. I'm letting, oh, let me see. Give me a moment. I'm going to actually let it pick. I'm allowing the website. I'm going to let it do all its thing. So that you're aware, I am far from an expert in love art, but I do enjoy, and hopefully you'll see. So we got the click for that, and then it's thinking. Well, it's thinking, okay. I'm helping a family remotely as a doula, so it's just checking a message. Here we go. It's going to create the appropriate tools. While it's thinking, I'm going to actually come over here to Canva. And so that you're aware, this is I have Canva, my business card, Canva, YouTube thumbnails, Canva, my presentations, Canva, by the way, this is that Facebook group, Canva for my book promotions, Canva, Canva, Canva. So I'm going to select, I already know that for WordPress featured image, the best size is 1200 by 630 pixels. So I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to put, oh my word, there we go. I'm going to pick this as my title. I like giving every place a home so it's easy to find. This is for my articles. And now we have this ready for when LovArt comes. Now, so that you're aware, it could run into trouble as it's going through. And one of the reasons I appreciate LovArt is if I went to do this with ChatGPT, I've tried different AI models for image creation. I do that because I am not artistic. Uh, okay, that's actually, this is not bad. This is actually not bad, but I just so that you're aware, I do need to correct it. Because I asked for there to be like blood pulsing. I like the side note, but it's like, I'm not happy with this. So it thinks it's completed. I'm going to say thank you. I just need to go back to my own thoughts. Okay, and let me go back into Grammarly, just oh, fine. Oh my word. I have I should say a like-dislike relationship with Grammarly because so it's like if your computer, fix it right the first time, don't have me go in multiple times. And so that you're aware, for those of you who are creative and that you're using artificial intelligence, it's back and forth. It's back and forth. I'll have people share with me, my fellow hospice nurses, could I use, and I say this with caution, could I use AI to write my notes? Okay, give me one moment. Oh my. I caution because there's the Dawn app. It's actually not bad. This is actually, I could actually argue on this because of like not seeing some scars, but I'm actually happy enough with this as it is. So, oh wow, I'm like impressed. So let me copy that. But as I was sharing with AI, I know I am in full support of the Amity group uh, with their Dawn app. And the difference there is Shelley and Adam and their whole team, they will ensure that the quality of whatever the AI involved is top notch. The catch is if you're asking AI questions and you yourself don't know enough about what the answer should be, that may sound odd. You're asking it a question, but you need to know the answer. Yes, because the catch is if you don't, AI hallucinates, and I've asked AI for help with general inpatient, and I've had to say, like, I've lost my mind. No, I'm not going there. Before I go too far, let me move my face again out of the way. So here are a couple things. One, notice that it didn't fill the screen. Notice that it didn't fill the screen. I mentioned what the size is, so don't expect AI to get that right. So what I'm going to do is just stretch and then stretch. Okay, so now we have the before and after. Now this here, I have no idea what that word even means. So now we're going to go in and we're going to do some cleanup. So I'm going to click here on the edit button. And by the way, I did copy and then Control V to paste. And we go to Magic Eraser. Now, in terms of, for those of you who don't use Canva often, excuse me, if you see the crown icon, that means it's a paid feature. It's only available in the paid version. Workarounds for that. Let me give you a workaround for that. I'm gonna actually use the paid tool, but let's say you don't want to. I can't say enough that the paid version is worth every penny. But if you're like me, I was like, I don't know if I can afford the chamber. How do we get around this? Well, I'm going to come here, and we know that this is this color. Okay, this is telling you what colors are in the image. So right here, that's a type of gold. I'm going to come here and I'm going to create a shape. These shapes, there's no king icon, no crown. So these shapes are free. So I'm going to create that shape. I'm going to come down here and go like this. I'm only going to take exactly what I need. If I can get it that small. Oh my word. Okay. Sorry, my famous saying is, oh my word. And I'm going to make it just small enough to cover. And then I'm going to go here. And there we go. Now you might say that's not exactly the same color, and you're correct. So, but what if we did this? We came up here. Okay. And if, again, if we were using the free version and you wanted to kind of, and this is a type of cheating, let me come down a little bit. I would actually say if I was using the free version, again, move my face around, I'd actually duplicate this, duplicate. So that's the new one. And let me find out where the rotation is. Make it 90 degrees. And I'd come here. And then I duplicate it again. And let's make that back to 0 degrees. And I put that up here. And so, and then again, I'm not going to go through the whole all four, but I basically create 4 of these of the appropriate size and shape that it wouldn't be that yucky, so to speak, to be present. So let me just get rid of these there. But that's just a wait around. Like you don't have to get the free version, I mean the paid version. But since I do have the paid version, and to me it's a little bit cleaner, I'm going to go into Magic Erase, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to erase this. And there we go. And then there, now this particular case, I'm happy with this as is. I am beyond measure. This is a wow. Would I have liked some change? Like this does have some blood on it. Would I have liked some more scars on here that at least I can say, yes, it's a scar? Absolutely. But I'll take it. I'll take it. So in order to give you a little bit more value for what we are going over, let me go over this image here when hearts collide. So I'm going to actually do a redo for this. Let me, I'm beyond happy with this project. Let me go to the, sorry, I'm still in a way learning LovArt. I'm going to go here and I'm going to just put, so I can remember, from next time. So here we have these are the different images that was created. So notice the wording. Notice here how misspelled, you can't see where I'm pointing my finger, but the resolving is misspelled. And here's the boat, and here's a heart. So if I show you this, this is the after of me working with it. This is the after. it actually involved, let me go into layers, and I'm going to actually ungroup this, ungroup, and ungroup. So there's this image here, there's that image there, and there's all these words. So how does that work? I'm going to come in here. We're going to go do that 1200 by 630. I'm going to end up trashing this, by the way. But in fact, let me do, oh, I am stupid. Sorry. I have a stupid moment, I should say. Shouldn't demean myself. But let me go here and just create a new page. Duh. So I'm going to go here, and that's the image I like the most right here. And I'm going to copy that. So right click, copy. And I'm going to come into this. Let me get out of there. Paste. Let me make it fill the screen. And I'm going to actually keep that in the middle for now. And actually, I can come this way and I can go that way. This is, I'm not a fan of the font. You can't see where I'm putting my hands. So spelling wrong, not a fan of the font. And this actually looks like it's for glide or for guide and forgive. So I'm going to go into edit. Now, these are paid features. So just forewarning you, I don't. Now, again, there's a way I can go back and just like I use the trick for doing the elements and creating, basically, I don't use makeup. I'm a guy. I know guys use makeup. I'm not one of them. But I could actually go over the listen, empathy, for guide, forgive, and put in like the little boxes and so on, and put in the same color and kind of mask it out. Think of it as like a blemish. You're using the, but I'm going to go in here and I'm going to use the grab text. And I'm going to say grab all the text. And I'm going to grab all the text. And now I can fix the spelling. And I actually fix the spelling. Let me make it 36 for the entire everything, 36. And then here, this is going to be from memory, just so that you're aware. In fact, oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, let me move that back. My vision's not the greatest. So listen. And I'm going to fix what you're seeing. Let me select all this. I'm okay with that font for now. Let me make it 40. And just, when I said 40, that's just pure guesswork. Now I'm going to come back to the image because I noticed when I move this around, I'm not a fan for the bottom. Let me just edit the image, go into Magic Eraser. Okay, I thought there was sometimes when you pull text, there's residue. There wasn't any residue, so fine. So, okay, we have this image. But if you go back to this page here, and again, this font's different. I think, okay, beautifully delicious. I'm going to go, let me pick Evolve Sans. That's IDLM's. They like that font. And let me make it white. It just pops more. So, and that's 40 versus the 36. But again, this is just showing you. So, but notice in this picture here, not only is the colors different, but there's this wording over here. There's this heart. I just thought it's a fit. It's odd. I find it very odd to say. I was sharing with Anna Adams. We were chatting this morning. I appreciate Anna so much. She I struggle with how to work. I'm a writer that struggles with words. One of the many reasons I platonically love Anna Adams, I told her today I love her as a sister because she was apologizing for certain things. And it's like, I can't even imagine, Anna, what you'd have to do to offend me where it's like I'm not talking with you or I'm mad. And I don't want to go there imagining. But here, Anna is very much like me, where she does have to earn a living, but it's not all about the money. It's about getting the education out there. She said, Peter, when you email the people who paid to come to the palliative care class, it was free to IDLM students, but outsiders, it was $10.95. Did you give them the $100 off the course for that they attended? Not I should not the course, the end of life doula course. If you want to become a doula, did you give them $100 off? It's, sorry, I didn't want to presume that the offer was still on the table, so I apologized, and then she's apologizing back, and I shared with her. And this is I'm being vulnerable with you, my viewers, my watchers. One of my internal struggles in terms of that I'm autistic is sometimes I struggle. Am I human? It may sound very odd. Sometimes it makes me teary-eyed, but I feel empathy. I have feelings, and just so that you know, if you're not familiar with autism, we can feel, we can have empathy, but we struggle to how we have these connections. And so, like, I'm a romantic at heart. I may not be good at executing that. My wife would cringe if I said I'm a romantic at heart, as much as I love her dearly. But so that's why the hearts. So, but how did we get this in this picture? Because that's actually from this image. So if I copy that, and let me go to the right image, and I'm going to paste that in. And before I do anything, let me edit this. And I'm actually going to do, I could actually do the eraser. In fact, let me do the, I'm struggling with this. Let me do the, honestly, I forget what I did the first time. I am going to grab all text. This one I'm deleting. And what did I do? Gratitude, forgive, empathy, listen. And I may not be spelling that correctly. And highlight it. I'm just going with 30 for the moment. This is live. I'm going to pick black so it just stands out. And forgive, empathy, and listen. And we need to make the box differ. What was that size? 30. 30 in black. And by the way, I am noticing, I mentioned for when you grab text, there can be artifacts or, so let me go into magic erase to the image. Notice here and here, I call them artifacts. You call them whatever you want. It's just leftovers where it grabs. So I'm just going to erase that so it doesn't mask what I'm trying to do here. This was empathy. We're making everything 30 and black. I have to select everything. Oops. And black. And this is, let me make it black so I can see what I'm doing. Let me make it 30. And I don't know why. Okay, I don't have to. Let me just retype in case the spelling is off. Okay. So now we have all this. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 in the picture itself, and I'm going to group it. The reason that I grouped everything is that when I expand this and move it around, the words flow with it. So I'm going to actually eyeball right about there. How far do we want to come? I want this to mesh. I'm basically, I am trying to mesh this part with here, and I want this flowing in. And this is probably going to be different than the image that I did, but let me put it here first, and let me have it flowing up to the ship. I may end up creating something I liked better. So that's good. And then now, I'm pausing. Please bear with me. I like the shadow, so I don't want to come too far to interfere with the shadow. And now we're gonna, let's see, like this. And let me go in, let me refresh my memory here. This image, this image. Okay. I think I shared with all of you my short-term memories of butterfly. So I'm going to the main image, and let me make sure that these are grouped. So I have all of them are grouped. So this image here is what I've selected. I'm going to come back and make it 50% transparent. And then I'm going to put it over. Yes. So I put this so it's the lead. This is on top, this is on bottom. Because the top one is 50% transparent, the bottom one is shining through from a point of view. And I can even, now what about the overall coloring of this? I can come back to here. Let me move my picture out of the way, really small. I can come to this picture and say, I really like the first pictures. I'm going to pick that one. I'm going to come here and pick that one. And I'm going to actually keep that there. So now notice I'm not a fan of the square. So let me go back to the layers. Let me pick this. I may be forced to do. That's actually not bad at all. Let me come back to here. I'm just expanding it out. Let me make it match. And actually, yes. And then now we have a finished product. Now this is my abstract, but that's a way, I had a tool where I went in the LovArt, have a back and forth discussion. Now they recommended some suggestions, but then here's Canva, and here's how to adjust and have that happen. And it's like, not bad. I still like the first, but that's me. But actually, yeah. But even here, let me get back into, actually it is using white. That's one where I may need to ungroup this, have that come to the forefront, and not be transparent. So, and the same with this, maybe that is not transparent. So again, this is stuff for you to just encourage you to play, to learn, to be curious. And I hope you found this video helpful. Please comment in the link below any questions or thoughts. Thank you for your